Greetings from PTSI. As a Phase 2 business, PTSI was allowed to reopen here in Onondaga County under some very strict regulations and guidance, but we're happy to be back. It's great to interact with my coworkers again. And I have to say, it's also a blessing that the hairdressers have opened up as well, because I'll tell you, one more week of this, and you could have seen me, but I might not have been able to see you. So, one of the things that I want to talk to you today about is about getting involved, because now we've moved into summer, schools have closed for the year, and now we're back into summer, which means that plans are being made for the fall. And transportation needs to be part of that. Wherever those discussions are taking place, you need to go and find that conversation, and you need to start interacting. Talk to your superintendent, talk to whoever you need to there to become involved in the planning, because only hearing the plans will you be able to anticipate what the impacts will be to transportation, and vice versa. For transportation to plan in a vacuum doesn't make any sense. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to bring to light the specific perspective that you bring as the transportation director or the head bus driver or whatever. You're in charge of the transportation department. They don't see school from the same seat that you're sitting in. So it's important for them to hear about that, and only you can bring that to the table. Another important thing about that is that we need to listen to what their challenges are, because as team members and team players, we need to be able to listen to what their challenges are and perhaps offer some perspectives and some solutions to the things that they're struggling with. And the same is true in reverse. They can hear some of the challenges you're having and maybe bring to light or make a modification of a plan that they're proposing to make it work. But listening is important. Information is key. Your information for them and their information for you. So another challenge that we have is that we need to make sure that we're identifying all of the stakeholders in the planning portion of reopening schools in the fall. And absolutely, transportation needs to be the primary stakeholder here, because the only way to get them there and to get them home is through transportation. So we need to make sure that all the stakeholders are present, that you're interacting with all of them. And whether that's at one meeting or two meetings, individually, doesn't matter. The conversations just have to be made. One of the things as I talk to people, especially during the PDS season, I'm talking to people from all over the state. And one of the things I hear is that, they just want this to go away. They want this to be done. But you know what? There's no quick fixes to this. There needs to be a process, and you have to go through the process that everyone agrees on in order to reach a resolution that'll work for everyone. One of the things that I hear is that, well, they're planning this and they're planning that. Well, sometimes plans can look really good on paper, but the practical application is really where the rubber meets the road, pardon the pun. But only we can say that, right? Only we can make that determination whether or not we can really make that plan work in reality, the practical application. So we need to be part of that. The bottom line really is that we might not know how to make it happen, but we have to understand that because the conditions and the situation is so different, the how may not ever look the same moving forward, at least for a while. So we need to be flexible in that, because post-pandemic, school and school transportation may be really very different. In the end, it's about coming up with solutions that work. And that's best done by working as a team, as being part of a committee, being part of the planning, and really coming together. And that's something that school transportation professionals do in really good ways, in really professional ways. It's an industry I'm proud to be part of. So as you start to think about fall, start to think about getting involved, becoming part of that planning group, wherever it is, and start interacting with your peers to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed from a transportation perspective. Another thing for you to think about as you're preparing for fall is to don't forget about ordering your laws and regs from PTSI for your fall trainings. We're going to start shipping those books out in July, and so give us your order. We can get it on the list so that it'll get out and you'll have it in time to do your training. So have a great week. Thanks for listening. Take care.